always quite critical of your own performances, but how do you assess what just happened in this ring tonight?
Well, I've got to watch it, re-watch it. I had fun in there, that's the main thing. And didn't go past 3, right?
Third round.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
You didn't seem in the mood for the Rocky story or showing any mercy tonight. Did that all annoy you, that build-up?
Oh, look, it's all business. For myself, I've got one objective in my mind, and it's to take whoever possible out that's in front of me. That's quite simple. You know, I've got all my respects to Stevie Sparks, came in. He's got a big career ahead of him. But, you know, again, this is my ring, this is my division, and I'm here to stay.
What about the body shots that you've produced? You happy with what you did? Was that the plan?
No, it wasn't actually. It was going to, but I thought I wanted to take it a bit later. I wanted to get his hands up, but his hands weren't going up straight away, so I wanted to lift him up and then finish it off. Luckily, it happened a bit earlier than expected.
There'll be people watching this fight around the world, in the United States in particular at the moment, with belts obviously being contested next week. There'll be people watching in Melbourne. There'll be people watching right around the globe. Any message for any of those viewing?
Yeah, well, look, there's Liam Smith, Kurbanov, and Danny Garcia. They're the 3 boys I'm going for. So if you're watching, boys, I'm coming for you.
And Tim, a word on Tszyu Castle. You've come back here for the second time and it's been impeccable. How much have you enjoyed it?
No words needed. That's it right there. Thank you.
Congratulations, Tim Tszyu.
Thank you, Ben.
All right, Big J, let's talk about it. First, well, let me give you guys the particulars. Take your time out. Please like the video and subscribe. Also, visit our website. The link's down below in the description box, fightview360.com. All of our rankings, the WBC, WBA, IBF, Ring Magazine, and in this case, we're going to be talking a lot about the WBO. Our rankings are updated monthly in accordance with the sanctioning bodies. Tim Tszyu is ranked number 1. So, just about an hour, less than an hour ago, Tim Tszyu defeated a late step-in, week's notice, 140-pound fighter. You know, he competes at welterweight, a guy by the name of Steve Spark. Stopped him in 3 rounds via body shot, 2 knockdowns in the fight overall, both from body shots. The last one ended up ending the fight. This was expected. This was predicted. Many predicted also that Stevie Spark was going to give a good fight to Tim Tszyu while it lasted, which he did. I was highly impressed, but the poor lad only had 1 round in him. And my, did he give Tim Tszyu hell during the spurts, the little spurts that he had. Nonetheless, woulda, coulda, shoulda, he was stopped. So now we need to talk about what's next for Tim Tszyu, especially those names that he mentioned. Liam Smith, Magomed Kurbanov, and former unified 140, former 147-pound champion, 2-division champion, Danny Swift Garcia, who, by the way, has never competed above the 147-pound division. So, Big J, overall, how did Tim Tszyu look? What did you think about the fight?
Well, I wasn't one little bit, well, g'day mate, how you going? Hope it's all going well over there. Well, you know, I wasn't one little bit impressed because that's exactly what he should have done. He should have sparked him out inside of 3 rounds. Good body shot. His body punches are getting a lot better. But here's the thing. Stevie Spark didn't have the power to take out Tim Tszyu. But if he did the same thing against Erickson Lubin or the Russian or especially Charlo, Tim Tszyu would get knocked the fuck out. He is in so much shit when he finally goes overseas. Based on that performance, he let a 140-pounder getting some good shots on him. The only thing that why he didn't get knocked out because he didn't have the power. Maybe Tim Tszyu was taking it a bit too easy because he knew he wasn't in any real trouble. But you can see that, you know, against the established 154 opponent, someone who's actually really 154, not a blown-up welterweight, not a blown-up super lightweight, a real 154 opponent, Tim Tszyu is going to be in fucking strife. And all these people out there say, I'm full of shit, I hate Tim Tszyu, I don't know what I'm talking about. Just watch when he finally goes overseas and he's going to get fucking creamed. So, you know, he's going to get bloody demolished. And, you know, mark my words, he's in a lot of trouble when he actually finally fights an established world-ranked 154 opponent.
So he's called out some names. Let's go through the first one. Liam Smith. In fact, let me pull Liam Smith up here on BoxRec. I've covered Liam Smith numerous times on the channel and all of his brothers. Paul Smith, who competed at 168 pounds, who fought Andre Ward off of Abraham at 160. Steven Smith, I forgot which weight class he competed at. He was sparked out, put to sleep by Vasil Lomachenko. Colin Smith, who was had his arms beat the shit by Canelo Alvarez, also won the World Boxing Super Series, WBC Diamond and WBA Super World Championship, and Ring Magazine. Liam Smith fought Canelo for the WBO title in Canelo's last fight at 154 pounds in the Dallas. Where was that at? I don't want to say Dallas. I believe it was in Texas. Let me pull it up. I got his resume here. He fought
Dallas
Canelo
Sports Center or
Alvarez.
Superdome, where it's called.
Yeah, it was in Arlington Stadium in September of 2016. Let me read through his resume. And the reason why I'm going through this is for this. Okay, all right. He's got Saul Canelo Alvarez, 2 fights with Liam Williams, Jaime Munguia, Sam Egington, Roberto Garcia, Magomed Kurbanov, where a lot of people felt that he actually won that fight, but he's 29-3-1 with 16 KOs. The point I'm trying to make is he lost to Kurbanov in what was a WBO eliminator. So basically, the winner of that fight is one step closer to a title shot. He lost to this guy right here, Magomed Kurbanov, 22-0 with 13 KOs of Russia. Names on his resume that you may have heard of, hardcore boxing fans, Diego Chavez, who's now competed at 154. He fought Tim Bradley at 147 pounds. Keith Thurman at 147 pounds. So he's got a win over him. Outside of that, pretty much Russian fights. So Tim Tszyu, logically, now understand, as we said earlier in the video, our website, FightView360.com, we keep up and maintain the rankings for all of the sanctioning bodies. I've been doing this for years. So what I'm saying to you is Tim Tszyu's path to a title shot has to be either the winner of Charlo versus Castano, which I'm going to be doing full coverage for. In fact, for those who are watching, if you're in Australia or the Oceanic area, in about 6 hours or so, there's going to be a virtual Zoom call with Charlo and Castano, and Tim Tszyu's name is probably going to come up. The point saying is that fight is next week. Main event Ben Damon said during the interview that they're picking the fight up on Fox Sports?
That is correct. Yes, I picked up the fight on.
Yeah, can you give the
Sports,
particulars? Do you know what time it's going to be? The channel, Fox Sports?
Not off the top of my head, but I'm probably going to say it's not on main event, so it's on regular Fox Sports, I believe. I think it was at 11 a.m. kickoff. I haven't got those details, but it is picked up on Fox Sports.
Basically, next Sunday in Australia.
Next Sunday in Australia, check your local guides. It'll probably be 11 o'clock kickoff or something like that. So.
And here in the States, it's going to be on Showtime Championship Boxing starting at 9 p.m. So unless the winner of that fight, who's going to be undisputed champion, by the way, unless, God forbid, the fight ends in a draw, you know, they're going to hold all 4 belts in all major sanctioning bodies and, of course, the Ring Magazine. So unless Tim Tszyu is chosen, then he has to fight Kurbanov, and the winner of that will be the mandatory, where Charlo Castano winner has to fight Tim Tszyu or whoever has that WBO belt at the time. And it seems as though you were going to go ahead. I'm going to let you take it away now. It seems as though you may understand, you know, or you said that Tim Tszyu seems to understand that that is the likely scenario, is that he's not going to just get Charlo straight next off the bat.
Yeah, that's pretty much right. He said that, he said that there's a lot of politics in boxing and that he's not going to get Charlo next. And it's finally actually good to see that, he actually recognises that Charlo is not going to happen, for several different reasons. Number one reason, that Tim Tszyu has no affiliation with PBC that we know of. And the only real way for him to get a title shot is to go through Magomed Kurbanov, go through the Russian guy. So that's the only real way he's gonna do it. He's gonna have to fight Kurbanov, most likely in Russia. There was talks that his father Tszyu wants to set up a fight in February next year in Russia. He wants him fighting for a world title in Russia of next year. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. He's got to beat the Russian first. That should be in Russia, and it probably should be the end of this year. I mean, they were talking that he's going to possibly return to the ring in 2 months, in September 8th, which is 2 months away. So I seriously doubt he's going to fight the Russian in 2 months. So he's going to have another fight. This is all don't even penciled in yet. It's all up in the air. But his next fight has got to be against the Russian, or at least someone in the top 15 of any sanctioning body, most likely the WBO. He can't keep on going fighting all these bloody blown up welterweights and super lightweights. It's just making him look bad.
Well, right now it's looking like, okay, if he returns in September, then that's probably why they're mentioning Liam Smith. Then maybe something's going on there. But Kurbanov, that means what? We have to wait, and Tszyu and his team as well, unless they know something we don't. They have to wait and see what the WBO does. And the WBO is not going to make a designation on who the next mandatory is going to be, or who has to fight to be the next mandatory, until after this undisputed situation is taken care of on July the 17th.
Correct.
And the way the WBO works, correct. I'm telling you, the WBO is going to order Tszyu to fight this Kurbanov guy. And if he sets up another fight, then that's just going to be more mismanagement from that, another fight outside of Kurbanov, because that's going to be some more mismanagement on, the side of an Australia promotional team, because that's the fight he should be targeting if he can't jump the line to get a title shot. And it's looking like he can't. So is there, does he, why does it seem like, they don't want the Kurbanov fight? Were they mentioning it throughout the night on the broadcast? They were, but it just seems like he's angling somewhere else.
Well, in his post-fight interview with Barry Michael Paul Kent, I can't remember what the other fellow his name is, he was pretty strong on the Kurbanov fight. Okay. I think that is the most logical choice, is the Kurbanov fight. Danny Garcia didn't get mentioned in the post-fight interview, bar when he was in the ring. Why he would want to fight Danny Garcia, fuck knows. That's not going to gain him any credibility. Yeah. It's just another blown-up welterweight.
And then trying to get him to come over to Australia, too.
Said, bullshit. No one's coming over here for him. Fuck off. No one's going to come over here and do a 2-week quarantine for Tszyu. He's not that big of a name. So, not on the international scene anyway. No, that's not going to happen. Liam Smith, credible opponent, but he just lost. Why would you want to fight him? The only way to go is Magomed Kurbanov. That's the only way to go. So, if he wants, to cement his place and be a legitimate contender at 154, that's who he's got to fight. Or by some miracle, Erickson Lubin. Erickson Lubin would be the only other person.
Lubin. They're saving Erickson Lubin for that title shot. If you don't know, Erickson Lubin on the undercard, Tim Davis versus Mario Barrios defeated former unified champion Jason Rosario, WBA, IBF former unified champion via body shot knockout. Erickson Lubin is now the official #1 contender for the WBC title. And that's the status that, Tszyu needs to be going for. So I don't see Lubin giving up like when he's already got the lottery ticket, and fighting Tszyu. Exactly. It doesn't mean, I was interested, and that Ben Damon, used the term advanced talks when he said that Jarrett Swift Hurd was in talks to fight Tszyu. That was surprising, but Jarrett Swift Hurd went on to go lose to Luis Arias on the undercard of Mayweather versus Logan Paul.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that they were that far advanced. I was actually happy about this. So Jarrett Swift Hurd would have been a legitimate fight for Tszyu. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Legitimate fight. Because he's ranked, 4th with the WBO?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. I don't know if he's right now, but since he lost, but yeah, he was.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Based on Tszyu's performance, because I'll say this, his performance against Dennis Hogan was certainly more impressive than his performance tonight. No doubt there. Yeah. Beating up a 140-pounder, whatever. We shouldn't. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Full credit to Steve Sparks for getting into the ring and having the balls to fill in for Zarafa. But on his performance, how do you honestly think he's going to go against a legitimate 154 opponent, considering his record?
Oh, well, let's go through it right here. I have the rankings pulled up. So right now, I have Charlo defeating him. Brian Castano, if we saw the way that Steven Spark fought tonight, Brian Castano would definitely, I wouldn't say smash, I can't say that, but in my opinion, he has a chance to outwork Tszyu, so I can go ahead and say confidently that I feel that Brian Castano would beat him. Erickson Lubin would beat him. Even though he would have a
knock him
chance
out.
because Erickson Lubin's a little chinny. But I would say I would feel confident saying that Erickson Lubin would defeat him. Jared Swift Hurd, he's a big fighter.
He would get hurt. He would get hurt.
I think
In
he would
fairness,
be.
he
Yeah,
would
he's a
be
big
hurt.
fighter. I think he would be able to get Hurd. Jason Rosario, well, his body is mashed potatoes.
Nah, he's done.
Yeah, he's done.
He's done.
Sebastian Fundora.
Tony Harrison?
Tony
No, I
Harrison,
reckon
I
Sebastian would
don't
beat him.
know. I can't confidently say that.
Oh, Sebastian Fundora, you're not confident?
I'm not confident when.
I
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm not high on Sebastian Fundora, but what I seen from Tim Tszyu tonight, we're talking about the Tim Tszyu tonight, so I don't know. Fundora, I would give that a 50-50 fight. I would say that Julian J. Rock Williams can beat Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu hasn't shown us anything. The Mixer Raffle was the fight that I needed. And I understand how, the hardcore, casual Tim Tszyu fans are. You looking at us like, you guys are just hating and everything. But we gotta tell it like it is. And right now, the fact that we watch so much boxing, we can't, just ride with Tim Tszyu until he shows us something.
Exactly. When have we ever said that we hate Tim Tszyu? We've never said that. Just because we don't bloody friggin', dance up and down, do a cartwheel every time he throws a punch, that doesn't mean that we hate him. We're allowed to be critical people. We are boxing analysts. We're not boxing commentary that sucks up their ass to promote the fight. We are boxing analysts that give you the real story of what the fuck's going on. And we're not here to bloody suck people's dicks and tell them how fucking great they are. We tell it down the line. If you do something we like, we cheer. If you do something we don't like, we boo. And that's our fucking right. And that's why people watch this channel.
And also think like this, if you're out there gambling, put money down on these fights. I don't gamble, never did, never will. I don't even play
fuck, I don't
cards.
either.
So, but we're telling you what to look out for. So you're not going out there blindly like, oh, well, Tim Tszyu can beat Erickson Lubin. Tim Tszyu can beat, and not telling you, it's our job to tell you. And right now, Tim Tszyu hasn't shown us anything. And even though it was just a little bit, Stevie Spark only had one round inning, it was still enough damage that he did. Let's not say damage, because I know people are going to get a little sensitive about that. He still laid enough hands on Tim Tszyu that he shouldn't have. You can say, well, Tim Tszyu didn't take him seriously. He was trying to run through him, see his power. At this stage where people are critically watching you, Tim Tszyu, he could, he got the stoppage, but it was some punches, that I was thinking, okay, if a fighter, a few levels above Stevie Sparks does this to him, Tim Tszyu ain't gonna make it out of it.
I've been saying that since day one. The second someone that is actually a legit 154 puncher that can hit, he's going to be in all sorts of bother. Yeah, because remember, don't forget he got clipped by Wade Ryan, who's just getting better. He actually had a really good fight tonight. We'll get to that sooner. But he got clipped by Wade Ryan. So he's not unbeatable. He's not indestructible, and he's not a world champion. And this hype build up is really starting to piss me off because I'm like, it took half a week to get out to the bloody ring. What was that bullshit? You have to have a whole mate banging on the door.
Now that was something. For the last several events I've covered of Tim Tszyu, I believe it was the last 3 straight. For me, it's a bit of an issue. I can understand how fans may say like, but I'm a tech guy. I do dabble in broadcasting a bit. So he has this thing where he'll be waiting in the locker room, his music will hit, they'll start announcing him, you'll see people in the ring, and he'll just be still in the locker room, intentionally delaying his ring entrance. It's like, you're not a champion yet, mate. So what happened was somebody had to bang on his door, I'm guessing, assuming that somebody from the production team said, hey, listen, Tim Tszyu, this fighter, he likes to bullshit around when it comes to entrance. We got this pyro that's got to go off at a certain time. We got the music that's got to, do this. And we got these time, restraints that we got to make sure we abide by for the broadcast. And the fighters are always given, and their teams, this is the time of your ring walk. Maybe they give them like a 5 to 10 minute or so grace period or whatever, maybe less. But Tim Tszyu seems to habitually, put it this way, if this guy, and for those who watch the broadcast, if you know what I'm talking about, if whoever that wasn't wanting to bang on the door, boom, 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 no telling how Tim Tszyu would have been, in there, and we would have been waiting for him to walk out to the ring. That definitely was annoying. And another thing I want to get off my chest is Tim Tszyu has not done nothing for anyone to be saying, oh yeah, he can beat Jermell Charlo. Okay, you can say it if you're a fan, casual, all right. You know that you're right. But I'm not going to go on the record to say it, and I can't. He hasn't done anything. I've seen nothing to make me think that, okay, yo, he would really give Jermell Charlo some problems. I can't even say that. We haven't seen anything. And then for him to even mention Danny Garcia's name, you know, I understand, okay, his name, you know, he got some weight to it. But he's still a 147-pound fighter. It's like, okay, like, what the fuck is going on now? You know?
As I said, just another blown-up welterweight to add to the long list of blown-up welterweights he's already fucking fought.
Yeah.
So his name shouldn't even be mentioned. But to his credit, you know, he was strongly going after the Russian and realising that the Russian is the only way to go. And that's exactly what he should do.
Yeah.
And fucking I want to see him get in there with the Russian. I think the Russian will probably get him or give him at least a hard fight. It's not going to be an easy walkover. I mean, so
I would pick Tszyu over the Russian. I would pick Tszyu over Kurbanov.
All right, fair enough. Not over Liam Smith, though?
I'm not quite sure. Because Liam Smith is a seasoned fighter. You know, I would give Tszyu a slight edge because of, you know, Liam Smith is war-torn. But one thing for sure is Liam Smith got a chin, you know, and he's going to be right there in his face. You know, he's going to be a pressure fight for Tszyu, and I don't think he will respect Tszyu. I'm not confident, you know, but right now, like, if he fights Liam Smith, that's just a stay busy fight, and he just wants to get that name under his belt. You know, but Kurbanov, that fight is going to be ordered, so I hope they don't book this, because if that fights get ordered, and and Tszyu is not available, then they're going to order Kurbanov versus the next available contender, which is Bakhram Murtazaliev, who's also ranked number 1 by the IBF. He'll probably go that route. And then they'll go down the line. They'll order Kurbanov versus Teixeira. That's how they're going to do it.
That was my next question. Isn't that old mate, the IBF champ? I mean, he's been inactive for quite a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, but I forgot what was going on with him. I forgot what was going on. You know, but and also we don't know, even with that, we don't know which mandatory is going to come first, because if Charlo wins and hands all the belts, or Castaño, we don't know whose mandatory is going to come first. Is it going to be the WBC who goes first? Is it going to be the IBF who goes first, or the WBO? You know, something similar happened with Joshua and Usyk and Pulev. The IBF and the WBO came together and said, all right, Pulev goes first, then Usyk goes second. You see what I'm saying? So this is a situation that can happen right there. We don't know if Tszyu does go on to beat Kurbanov. Does he have a guarantee, like, all right, you're the first mandatory, then who's the second and third? Now, the WBA, they're not going to have a mandatory for the super title. I'm going to tell you that right now. Bullshit organization. I'll go on the record to say that. But something tells me the WBC may be first, because Erickson Lubin just won his eliminated before the WBO even had theirs. So that's also something to look out for that we haven't been mentioning.
And don't forget Erickson Lubin's PBC.
And Erickson Lubin is PBC.
It'll be PBC first,
so
but
right
definitely Tszyu needs to go after the Russian.
In a perfect world, for me, Tszyu will fight Kurbanov before the end of the year. The winner of that would be the mandatory, like the full mandatory for Charlo Castaño. And then Tszyu, you know, let's say Charlo Castaño, they fight their mandatory at the end of the year. One of them, whether it's the WBC or the IBF, boom. You know, then who comes next after that? Will it be Tszyu in April or sometime, you know, in the early summer? Or will it be the IBF mandatory, which will push Tszyu's mandatory back until the fall or the winter of 2022?
Well, this is the way I see it. Charlo beats Castaño, then fights Lubin, pisses off the 160, all the belts get vacated. Tszyu gets past the Russian bloke if he does, fights Castaño for the vacant belt. There you go. That's my prediction.
Very possible. Very, very possible.
Very, very possible.
It's all
So we're going to get it.
It's all about the timeline. Yeah, because we're 25 minutes in, we got to wrap up and talk about the rest of the card. So, I guess before we talk about Liam Wilson, shout out to Wade Ryan. Did you expect for him to look that good?
No, he's looking better and better every time. I mean, bloody hell. I mean, he's really looking good. I mean, his last two fights have been very, very impressive. I mean, he's really clawed his way back, because the losses were piling up there at one stage. He had, 3 or 4 in a row? Because Tim beat him, then Zarafa beat him, He had like 3 or 4 in a row. I thought, okay, well, he's starting to be done. But once he fought Troy O'Malley and got that win, he's just been on a winning streak, and he's just looking more and more impressive. And yeah, he's looking really, really good. And I hope that he gets in the ring with Joel Camilleri, because I think he just won a WBC regional belt, and they've been talking for a while about having a fight. And I think that would be an excellent domestic fight at 154 for Australia. So Wade Ryan is looking mighty good. I even thought, well, Tszyu wants another fight in 2 months. Give Wade Ryan another crack. I think he's earned it.
Nah, you know that they can't do that. They can't do that. They gotta they gotta do a big step up. It's gotta be, they definitely can't do that.
Yeah, no, in a perfect world.
Yeah. But Liam Wilson, since we gotta wrap up in a few minutes. So we got about 5 minutes to spend on him. Now 9-1 with 6 KOs, losing by knockout or TKO in round 5 to a Joe Noine of the Philippines.
I mean, that I actually saw that coming 3 fights ago, because Liam Wilson's defense is shithouse, and he proved it. Remember, and I think it was the Horn Tszyu undercard when he fought Jackson Woods, and Jackson Woods clipped him and looked like he was going to belt him out. I saw this coming a few fights ago, because I've been saying Liam Bloody Wilson gets caught far too easy, and the Filipino destroyed him.
Yeah, his defense, man, he did not look good. He just was standing there. Especially, once we got to the stoppage, no footwork, head movement, no nothing. And then everything just was so slow. Did he not take this guy seriously? Because how can, the other guy, Joe Noine, he had a 2-week quarantine in a hotel room.
And
so it's like Liam Wilson's excuse.
18 months. Well, here's the thing. I hope everyone took a very good look at Liam Wilson, especially the fighters over in America, because that is what happens when Australian fighters fight real overseas competition. They get belted. And my prediction is once Tim Tszyu gets his hands on someone like a Charlo, Castano, or Erickson Lubin, same thing's going to happen to him.
Yeah.
So even though Liam Wilson has had some credible names when he's knocked out Jesus, what's Jesus' last name? Because remember, he knocked out old mate last year with that really good left hook, punch of the year. What was his name? Jesus Casrado, or whatever his name was.
Yeah, Jesus Caldro.
Yeah, that's the one. I mean, that pretty much sums up, when Australian boxers fight someone that's on that level of international, 9 times out of 10, they get belted, and belted badly. And I'm like, I saw it coming a couple of fights ago, because I'm like, I remember the next fight after Jackson Woods, the bloke that he knocked out in 3 rounds. I thought he's got some chinks in his armour, and if someone's exposed it, he's in real trouble. And Joe exposed it, and poorly. He really needs to work on his defence, because you just can't rely on power alone. And
he's been very, very busy. Maybe, it was a little bit of a burnout, because he fought back in April, then fought in December. I understand fighters at this level supposed to fight that much, but he just really looked like shit tonight in there.
He did. And I thought that he would be a good go for Brock Jarvis, but based on that, Brock would fucking destroy him.
I've seen Brock Jarvis fight before. He would belt him. He would destroy him. He would beat him up.
Belt the absolute shit out of him. How did Lynn Stanstorm go? Oh, shout out to Sam Ali, 5 years out of the ring, first round knockout. Holy shit, how impressive was that? Did you see that one?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch the I had just got back down. I had just got to the desk during the women's fight. That was at the beginning of the 5 a.m. ESPN Plus broadcast. So as you can see, it's 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the States. But listen, Jay, we got to wrap up. We're at the 30-minute mark, so I want to say thank you guys for watching. We're going to be covering every single Tim Tszyu fight from here on out, as we have been. It's unfortunate what happened with the Mixed Rafa situation. We wish him the best, and we're looking forward to see who Tim Tszyu is going to be fighting next. So we can expect some news on that in the next few weeks, especially after Charlo versus Castano, with what the WBO is going to do. So this is TstreeT Controversy and Big J with FightView360.com. We cover every single major fight live. Please take a time out, like the video, and subscribe.